We're live. Yes, Wanma, thank you very much. All right, hi everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. His name is Jimmy the Bag. This is the Loshak and The Bag show for Monday afternoon, March 19th. Jimmy the Bag and I are coming off of a successful week. Both of us were up in every single sport, so we're oddly calm. And I'm just a little bit concerned that if we're not neurotic and fucked up, that it'll have a negative impact on the entertainment value of this show, Jim.
Yes.
It will, right?
It may.
It may, right? Yes, that's true. I mean, I've thought about that, a lot in my life. Would I rather be, a funny, interesting guy or a healthy, happy guy? And no question, healthy, happy, definitely healthy and happy, right? You know what I'm saying, Jim?
No, I'd rather be exciting.
I mean, if we're feeling good, it's okay if people stop watching because it's a boring show.
I'd rather be teetering on the edge of death.
You think so?
Yeah, man. Whatever sells, man. I don't need to live long. Fuck
so
it.
You'd be happy with a few losing days here, and then all of a sudden you get neurotic and crazy, and then the show becomes more interesting from an entertainment perspective.
And I'm not afraid of death.
Yes, neither am I. Neither am I. Terrified of suffering, though, Jim. Terrified of suffering, though. Absolutely terrified. I'm a massive pussy. Not afraid of death. I was just skyping with someone that I know about death and suicide just a few minutes ago, Jim.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm not kidding. All right, so let's see. What do we have here? What do we have? Twati Latte simply says Jimmy the Bag is on absolute fire. Absolutely. Okay.
I don't know if I would go that far. It's been a successful month. It wasn't a hugely successful weekend. It was good. Mm-hmm. It was a barely profitable one, but the month has been good. And I am extremely concerned about my Sacramento Kings pick.
Yeah, all right. Well, we will get to that in a second. I guess let's start with college basketball. I gave a whole bunch of college basketball picks in the morning show, and let me just find the spreadsheet to remind myself, although I don't really need to remind myself. Let's see. Let's go over the college basketball picks that I gave. Jacksonville State Central Arkansas was a pass. Stanford, I did give Stanford +8 and the under in that one. Interesting line movement, strongly favoring Oklahoma State. It makes me a little bit nervous. My sense is that Stanford is going to come to play, but we'll see. And I also gave the under on that one at 155, and that is right where that one is. Again, this is a tricky one. Stanford, of course, with very high scoring against BYU. So I could see that here as well, but I think maybe a little bit more likely than not we will see a lower scoring game. New Orleans Campbell, I did not give a play on. The market certainly seems to be favoring Campbell. I did bet the over at 144.5 on the opener. I mentioned that it was a lean in the morning show, and now it's up to 146.5 or 147. So that's interesting. And also the New Orleans team total over 70 was also lean. Eastern Michigan, Sam Houston State was a pass for me. Mercer, North Texas, I gave the over on that one. Definitely, I gave it at 142 in the morning show. Now up to 143 or 143.5, and I bet it at 140.5. Thank you very much. Also, the first half on that one is a lean. LSU, Utah, an interesting game. Of course, LSU coming off of a very intense rivalry game against Louisiana Lafayette, which they won. Utah seems to be playing well. Their coach seems to be having them playing a tough defense. So I gave Utah first half -2 and the full game money line at -185 as official picks. And I also gave the first half and full game under on this one. Liking the full game under, I think, a little bit more. But I gave the full game money line on Utah -185. That's now up to 215. I also gave the under at 148.5, and that one curiously has not moved at all. Utah Valley, San Francisco is a pass. Washington St. Mary's, regular commenter Al Mack said he likes. Jim's laughing at some shit. I'm going to finish college basketball. Then I'm going to find out what the hell you're laughing at, Jimmy the Bag. Probably more jokes about how I live in a tree. Washington St. Mary's, Al Mack, a very well-respected commenter in the morning. Love the over. I decided to stick to my guns and take the under, which I did bet. I gave it at 144. It's now dropped the half point down to 143.5. And then the Western Kentucky USC game, another interesting one. General consensus seems to be that USC is not going to be terribly interested in this game. Western Kentucky probably will be. So I gave Western Kentucky +5 as an official pick. First half +2.5 is definitely in my leans column. And I also gave the under on this one at 151, I believe. And the first half under would be a lean as well on that one. That's it for the picks that I gave in college basketball. That's the entire college basketball card. All right, now we can go to you, Jimmy the Bag. What the hell's so goddamn funny in the chat box?
Well, there's a lot of love, first of all.
Really?
A lot of love.
Really?
A lot of love going your way.
Mm-hmm.
And then, well, it all started with Max mentioning that he had 5, well, how do you call it? 5 Let me get to it. I don't want to. 5 random erections today.
Oh, very, very nice.
Yeah,
very,
and then
very
Remy
nice.
CD said I get 2 intentional erections per day at 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. Central.
Okay. Oh, shit. Not good, Jimmy the
Not
Bag.
paying any attention. Talk to me.
Do you know that Gabriel Rodriguez, who is the self-appointed king of Chatbox, he has a comment here. Gabriel Rodriguez says, "I'm loving your picks, Loshak." Fuck. I mean, I'm still going to go with him, but not bad, Jim, right? High five. Entertainment value in this show.
Not bad.
By the way, you can use that joke anytime you want in this show. Yes, absolutely use it.
You'll let me use that?
Yes, it's a really, really good one. It's a really, really good one.
Done, my friend.
All right, we're off to a good start comedy-wise in this show. All right, Jimmy the Bag. Let's see. What else do you Remy CV, Pete just shut down my comments. I'm kind of hurt. What's he talking about?
Well, I mentioned his joke and you stepped
Which
all
one?
over it.
Which one?
That he gets 2 intentional erections per day at 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. Central, meaning during our show.
Oh, yeah. No. Because I wasn't shutting it down. I was setting up my other joke.
Okay.
I was like, whatever you said in the middle of it, I was planning on going, oh, shit. Deadpan style. So sorry about that. I was certainly not shutting down your joke. I was just I was 2 steps ahead. I was playing 4-dimensional chess with the comedy.
4-dimensional chess.
4-dimensional chess.
Shout out to Jansen Bonzone's wife is watching.
Oh, very nice, Jansen Bonzone. Shout out to Jansen Bonzone's wife. I think she made a good selection in her choice of husband, right?
I'm hanging out with Jansen on Saturday night.
Very nice. Very nice.
Any Toronto Cappers or anywhere close to Toronto, shit. We're all meeting up Saturday night, Shoeless Joe's, right on King and Duncan, 276 King Street West. We're going to watch some NCAA, bet on some horses, get fucked up. 8 p.m., come join us.
All right. So, let's see. What other comments do we have? We have some nice comments. Wait. Big Dad says YouTube is fucking around with the live chat upload of the earlier version. It's not there and has been problems for the last few days. Is that? Hey, Wanma?
Yes.
Is the live chat comments our settings that make it whether it's up or not?
No, it should be.
It should be there for every show, right?
Yeah, it should be there for every show. But I detected actually that sometimes it's not, and I don't know what's going on with YouTube.
Is that because of YouTube or because of us?
When it's up, sometimes it is. Sometimes
right. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. I'm now saving. Yeah, there were a couple of shows where I didn't save them because I was like, I'll go back and save them the next day, and they fucking weren't there, and I freaked out. I was like, holy shit! And even in the morning show, that upsets me because I went a while in the morning show without doing some early saves, and I think I missed some comments. But that's okay. You know, you can't be a perfectionist in life. You know what I'm saying, Jim? And you just do the best you can at all times. All right.
People happy to hear Wanma's voice.
Yes, Wanma is back, commenting behind the camera. Let's see. All right, so once again, Jason M says, yeah, your video earlier today says it was uploaded 3 days ago, so I never clicked on it. Oh man, you can't trust a single human being in life. You also can't fucking trust YouTube and other comments. Damn.
Fuck YouTube.
Was that on camera? Was that on the microphone? Was your microphone on? Yes. Wama just says, fuck YouTube. Amen. Fuck YouTube. All right. Let's so anyway, that was the college basketball card for today. You have any picks, Jim? You want to go on any of these plays, or what do you want to do here, Jim?
No, I feel like the NIT now is set up with things going on that we are not privy to, and I don't like capping where I feel like there's things going on that I don't fucking know about. I don't know who's caring, who's trying. It bothers me to the extent that I'm leaving the card alone.
That's kind of the case with every game, though. You're always making educated guesses, right, Jim? I mean,
yes, you're making educated guesses, and you're expecting players to care about what they do because it's their job. Yeah. But these college basketball players, it's not their job.
Exactly, and in fact, what is the USC's guy's job now is to stay healthy and to not play.
And to get drafted.
So what does that tell you, Jim?
It tells me not to bet on the game.
Really? It tells me because I think Western Kentucky is a solid team with good character. I mean, they friggin' beat. Remember when we beat Purdue? You made that call, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes, I had one, but they were 16-point dogs. I believe in that game.
So here they're a 5. The point is that they're a decent team that can be a live dog. I mean, USC isn't playing a cupcake here, and I'm taking them at 5 points. +5. That's a bet for sure. And in the morning show, a lot of people were saying they liked it. A lot of people were saying they liked it on money line, right? Looking for an outright win with Western Kentucky. So I'm on that one. Let me just review what my official picks were as opposed to my leans. I'm trying to give more leans. Pretty much all the games I didn't give first half are also leans, like Stanford. That's also a lean. Western Kentucky first half plus 2.5 is also a lean. The Campbell game over 145.5 is a lean, and the New Orleans team total over 70 is also a lean. Those are both higher right now. I gave Stanford, Oklahoma State under. The first half is also in my leans category here. Washington, St. Mary's first half is not an official pick, but that's also in my leans category. And the Mercer, North Texas over in the first half, and the Western Kentucky game under in the first half are also in my leans category. I just gave the full games on all those, Jim.
Mr. Stubbe saying Russian intervention in NIT.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I mean, Justin Series says Western Kentucky trying. I mean, I think that, Joe D says public pounding Utah. Again, Utah, it's not just the spot. Utah is a quality team, right? Utah is a team I don't mind betting in general.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But, of course, much more comfortable with them at home. They have a huge advantage there.
Yeah, So once again, I beat the line moves on a lot of these, and I'm taking them all. Maybe I'll throw on some first halves as well. So you're not going to have any picks tonight for college basketball, Jim?
No, I am not.
Okay.
Thankfully, happily.
All right. No picks for Jim in college basketball, even though Jim is coming off a profitable week in college basketball. And I guess let's move on. Then we have a little extra time at the end. Maybe I'll review some of the line moves in these college basketball games and make some of the leans, convert them to official picks. All my leans I bet. All those first half totals, I also bet them. And then I make second half bets depending on how the first half went. So a lot of situations like these Duke games where I like the under and the first half went way over. I'm pounding the second half under and then sometimes cashing the full game under as well. All right, but so that's it for now. Once again, my official picks: Stanford +8, Stanford, Oklahoma State under 155, Western Kentucky +5, Western Kentucky, USC under 151, Washington, St. Mary's under 144, Mercer, North Texas over 142, Utah moneyline -185 in the first half, -2, -113, and the Utah game first half under 70. I did make that one an official play, and the full game under 148.5, and Texas Tech moneyline +115. Those are all the plays that I gave in the morning show lines, and then the leans. New Orleans Campbell over, New Orleans team total over, Western Kentucky and Stanford first half, and then the North Texas, USC, St. Mary's, and Oklahoma State totals all in the first halves as well. All right, that's it for college basketball. Let's move on to NHL. Jimmy the Bag, of course. Can Jimmy the Bag get to 40 units in NHL? Right now he sits at 38. Is that the high water mark? I don't think
39.2, I believe, but yes, I don't care about 40 units. I want 50.
Oh, boy, there you go.
Can
Jimmy do it? He was up at 38.9, then, as has happened many, many times this year, took a dip down, climbing back up.
I took a big dip down.
Yes, a big dip down. Yes, sure. That's what happens.
It was like a 15 or 20 unit dip.
Yes, at one point, Jim was in the mid-30s or lower. I think he was in the low 30s and went down to the upper teens, climbed right back up. Can Jimmy the Bag get to 40 units in NHL? Well, let's see what he's got going tonight. Once again, 3 underdogs for Jimmy the Bag. Let's check the line moves in Jimmy the Bag's underdog picks. One pick he gave, of course, was Buffalo as a big underdog, and wow, that line has gotten bet up. Money coming in on Nashville. What do you make of that? In the morning, the best line was the morning line. The best line was we gave you +201. Now the best line would be +212 at BetOnline.
Yeah, as it should. Nashville's a great hockey team. Arguably the best hockey team in the NHL. Certainly the best team in the Western Conference, I believe. And also certainly has the most depth. Now, when you're dealing with a team like the Penguins, what they lack in depth, they have in quality star power and leadership and stuff like that, which Nashville is getting and gaining. Yeah, Nashville is a much better team than Buffalo. I probably should have waited until the late show, but I wanted to get it in. I just think that this is a letdown spot for him. I like fading teams on the last game of a road trip. I think Buffalo is excited to have Jack Eichel back, and I feel like this play has value. Yeah. I'm excited about it.
It's tricky in professional sports with some of these huge favorites. We have seen, Clayton Kershaw. It's the example that keeps coming to my mind. Clayton Kershaw would be a huge favorite every start, -300, -350. But if you look at the amount of games that he actually won, should have been -800 in all those games. And Nashville, all right, you look at this, you say, holy shit, a -250, a favorite or whatever, but they've won. What do they won? Like 9 out of the last 10 or something like that? I mean, something crazy. They're really winning most games, game in and game out. They're winning like 80% of their games right now, aren't they, Jim?
They've won 13 of 14. The one that they lost wasn't in regulation.
Right.
It was an overtime or a shootout. I can't remember exactly. Yes, Nashville is a great hockey team, but there was talk, yes, they are battling for first overall. They need to win those games. I just feel like this is just one of those letdown spots. And, listen, we could come back here tomorrow, a 5-0 Nashville victory. I just really don't see it. I just feel like this is a letdown spot. I feel like I'm getting value, and I'm happy to take it.
Okay, looking over their previous road games, they got a nice road win at Winnipeg. Maybe Edmonton was a letdown spot. No, they won it. Back-to-back at Vancouver. Maybe that was a letdown spot. No, they won it. Next game, end of the road trip at Colorado. Maybe that was a letdown spot. No,
why are you saying maybe it is a letdown spot? Like, you have to decide why something is a letdown spot. You're right.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying we're none of those letdown spots for them.
Well, I mean, we'd have to look at the exact situation.
Right.
To me, this is the third game of a 3-game road trip. They've looked great on it.
Right.
And I could just see them overlooking the Sabre squad.
Sure. Okay. We'll see how it turns out. Jim also took, as an underdog, what's the other one? You took Columbus. That one also moved a little bit against you. You took them at the best line was plus 141 in the morning show. Best line now would be plus 147 at Pinnacle, so about a 6-point move against you. What's your take on that, Jim?
Oh, it's Korpisalo. Korpisalo coming into goal, which is not he's just played poorly on the road. And I hope, as a young goaltender, that can get in his head. It's a difficult... if I had known for sure that Korpisalo was in the lineup, I might have been more hesitant. I just think simply that Boston might have blown their load going into Tampa and shutting them out for the first time all year. I'm incredibly impressed that they're doing it without Chara, without McAvoy. But they have been decimated with injuries. Columbus has won 7 straight. I'm getting close to plus 150 on a team that's won 7 straight against a banged up team. You don't. I've not been successful fading the Bruins. Probably nobody has, but I feel like this is another spot. I just, on a Monday, after a weekend, some dogs with value. Sure. I just feel like it's a nice spot for both of these teams. All
right. And then the third dog that Jim gave also moved a little bit against him. He gave Arizona at home against Calgary. In the morning show, that line was headed up. We were able to give him plus 109. Now the best line would be plus 113 at Bet Online. How do you feel about that, Jimmy the Bag?
Obviously, I don't feel good that these lines have gone against me.
Kind of standard, though. I mean, you would expect favorite lines to get bet up.
You would. Absolutely, but it's not like it's not something I'm going to sit back and be like, this is great. It's not something that I'm welcoming. I don't think Calgary is a very good hockey team. We know that the Coyotes have been playing well. Rick Tocchet won't be there because he's at his mom's funeral. I think that will come up in the dressing room, that they'll want to win one for Tocchet. They'll want to win one for the coach. This is another situation where the other spots, Columbus and Buffalo, I see a value spot. With Calgary, I'm fading a team. I'm not saying that this is a great spot for Arizona or anything else. I just think that Calgary is a team that's losing and losing badly. And they lost 4-0, showed no heart against the Golden Knights. And I just think Arizona can jump all over them. All right,
and then my 2 picks on the hockey card happen to be on the 2 games that Jim didn't have a pick on. I took the under in Florida-Montreal, 6 minus 110. That's right where that one is in the morning show. And I also took the first period under 1.5 minus 116 at Pinnacle. That line has also not moved at all since the morning. What do you think about those picks? Seem okay, maybe?
I like it. So go over them one more time.
Yeah, Florida and Montreal under 6.
Yes.
And LA, Minnesota, first period under 1.5 minus 116. Not a massive underline there.
I like the Florida one better. I mean, we talked on the early show that the Kings and Wild last 4 games have gone over. There's a sense, and Al Mack talked about it on Twitter with me, that they're overvaluing their goaltending, and both teams, both Quick and Dubnyk, have not performed at a level that we're probably, or at least we saw not with Quick because of the injury, but that we're used to with these 2 goaltenders.
Here you go. Tony Soprano, for first-time viewers. Tony Soprano is a regular viewer, commenter, fan of the show. We love him. He bets $10,000 a game on these bets. And I once said supposedly, and he was like, "No, Loshak, I swear on my kids and my life and everything that's true." And we definitely believe him. He just said? Loshak and The Bag. By the way, my bankroll is $1 million. So when we meet, everything will be on me. Okay, baby, Tony Soprano. And I 100% believe that, Jimmy the Bag.
It sounds good to me.
In fact, I think his bankroll is $1 million, and like if he lost the whole thing, would not be a big deal. You know what I'm saying? I think he got a bunch of other millions kicking around. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he's got $5,000 on the Sabres tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow. Are you serious?
Yes.
Holy shit, that is ballsy. I guess right now, if your bankroll's $1 million, that's standard. That's not ballsy at all. That's a totally standard, appropriate play as dictated by the Kelly criterion, Jim.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And him believing in the Sabres and the guys on the chat saying that they have value. Also, the guys on the chat saying that the Jackets are a sneaky spot here and have value does make me feel good. Obviously, it's hard to take dogs and look you guys right in the camera and say, yes, I believe in this. I put my money on this. I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I'm nervous taking these teams. I just see value, and I see a good situation for us.
Sure. I mean, that's why historically, I'm not exactly sure if they're consciously doing that now, but that's why historically, sport books love to inflate the lines for favorites because they know that it's just hard for even experienced bettors to put money on underdogs, and that's why you see, even Bodog still does it. They'll just jack those favorite lines up a point or two or a couple of cents, and because they know that it is psychologically difficult to make a bet that has value that you still acknowledge is more likely than not to lose.
Yeah, and it's easier for me to send in a bet,
right,
and not have to come and explain it to everybody.
Yes, absolutely.
And put my neck on the line.
And we'll be really tested by this is in baseball season, because it's baseball season, tons and tons and tons of like plus 140 dogs that should be plus 120. You know what I mean? Which is on its on its own a play with big value. But as far as a bet's concerned, you're getting a modest dog that should be a little bit less of a dog. You're still thinking that it's more likely than not to lose, and so that can be tough. But the proof is in the pudding, and Jimmy the Bag, of course, up a phenomenal ROI right now in NHL, and the units pushing 40 units.
It's exciting. It's exciting, and this is a situation that I'm extremely excited about watching these games, and I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm nervous. It's, going against Boston, Nashville, they're two excellent hockey teams, but clearly with the Bruins, they put it all together against the Lightning. And a team dealing with all these injuries, can we expect them to do that again? Now, obviously, they don't need to play their best game to beat the Sabres.
Yes.
Or to beat the Jackets. Either of these, these are not strong teams I'm betting on, but the Jackets have won 7 straight. They believe in themselves, and they're going up against a battered Boston squad. If Korpisalo wasn't in that, and if we had Bobrovsky, I'd be quite a bit more confident.
Okay, so that's it for NHL. Those are our picks. Once again, Jim's on 3 dogs, Arizona, Buffalo, and Columbus, and I'm on the Florida Montreal under and the first period under in LA, Minnesota. Let's move on to an NBA, a very interesting NBA card today, and I'll tell you what, Molecular Ninja in the morning show gave us a very nice 2-sentence breakdown of his Molecular Ninja play, or whatever it was, in the morning, and it was the Denver-Miami under, and I'm thinking that might be a great play, Jim. That line did not have an overnight line, so I did not have a chance to look at it, but I did look at it over the afternoon. Denver's pissed about their recent loss. The coach is telling them they need to crack down, and usually that means tougher defense, especially this time of year. Miami, of course, can be easily held to a lower scoring game. We're getting a high total here. I'm actually not exactly sure why the total is so high. I think that might be a great play, Jim. What do you think?
I think it might be a great play, without a doubt. One thing, just before we move on to that Molecular Ninja, is Twatty's come in, and he doesn't usually drop a lot of hockey bets.
No?
But he has the under in this Sabres-Nashville game.
That's what I was thinking about, too.
The under at 6.
Yes, I will admit that I did bet that. I haven't even mentioned it, really.
I think now that I'm sitting here and we've capped this game totally, I think that is is a good play, and a 6 line, and it's just a -1, basically almost what you what you're getting on Florida Montreal.
Yes. Look, I also bet that one as well. I didn't even put that in my leans column yet, but that is something that I did bet on the overnight line. And then when I saw the goalie change, I was like, all right, I'm going to look into this a little bit more. Didn't even talk about it. There is that goalie for the new goalie for Buffalo. What's your take on that?
Mark, I mean, he looked great coming up, and I thought they should have kept him up. And it's about time they let those two bums sit on the bench, Leonard and Johnson. They've been terrible all year.
Sure.
Give the guy some hope in the dressing room with someone who's not afraid to. Yeah, I like the move. I think that is a very, very interesting play, and it might be a great play.
And what about the Nashville team total under, which at the current lines would probably be 3.5, and not even at a big favorite line. We're probably looking at like a 3.5, like minus 112 or something like that. I'll find out right now from Pinnacle, but I bet you we're looking at 3.5 minus 112 here or something like that, Jim.
Yeah, I almost feel like this is almost a hedge with the road team. I think Twatty's onto something. I think you are onto something.
3.5 minus 118 is the Nashville team total under right now.
I'm gonna take the full game under 6. I'm gonna add that onto my.
You're not at all. You think that there's something real going on with the Buffalo goalie, and that it's not a fluke what he did in the small time in the pros. I mean,
there's such a small sample size, but yeah, I was not. So when I saw Korpisalo in there, I was a little concerned. When I see Ullmark in net, it's not nearly. I'm not nearly as concerned.
All right, you want this one, Jim?
I do, Twatty. I'm riding with you.
All right, I'm going to stay off this one, but I did bet it, and I will put it in my leans category. Buffalo under 6, best line shopping right now. Oh, the Greek has minus 105. I believe that's not a stale line. Very nice. We can give you that one. 6 minus 105 at the Greek. Wow, and the Greek was recently at 5.5, or it was at 5.5 earlier in the morning. So wow, a nice jump there. Under 6 minus 105. That's the line that Jim's going to get for the Buffalo game.
And I'm sorry to take us off of Molecular Ninja's breakdown. My apologies. I think that's a sharp spot, Twatty, and thank you for sharing it with us.
And Al Mack loves the team total under 3.5 for Nashville. He loves it, but Nashville can score though. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
well, that's the thing. I mean, Crazy Rocker here says Sabres lose 4-1 or 4-2, and sure, that is a possibility. And with that, I can still hit. So I'm going to take the full game, but I can see both being nice plays.
Okay, so let's move on to NBA. I'm thinking now that line has gotten bet down. The total in Denver, Miami was 216 in the morning. Now down to there's still 215.5s available. Heritage still has 215.5, but no 216s anymore. What do you think? I'm thinking about adding this on, Jim.
The Molecular Ninja play.
Molecular Ninja. I'm liking it. I think that Denver is they're coming off a tough game. The coach chewed them out a little bit. When you give extended effort, extra effort, a lot of times that means better defense. Miami, as we know, can be a modest paced team, and it's a relatively decently high total here. Jim, what do you think?
I do. I think that's not a bad spot.
You're just sitting here being like, I'm gonna feel like such an idiot if this play loses and I fucking tail this guy.
No, not at all. I mean, if we want to get back to my notes in this game, I mean, I like Gary Harris in the lineup for both over or under. He defends the perimeter very well. He's their best perimeter defender, but he also scores a lot. So having him off the court will probably help the under. You're right. Malone said it was unacceptable. They just lost badly to Memphis by 7 points, and they're I think that is a good spot. I think you guys are on the right track. I do.
All right, I'm going to take it. I'm not going to be able to get 216 like we had in the morning, but I'm going to take it under 215.5. That's the current line at the Greek, and Heritage does appear to be on its way down, though, at other places. So I'm taking that one, under 215.5, minus 110. Not bad, Jim. And also on that game, I'm thinking maybe Denver early, first quarter, first half, something like that. What do you think? I'm a believer in this Coach Malone and chewing him out and getting extra effort for them at least to start.
No, I don't. I think Gary Harris is a huge loss. A huge loss to this team. And yes, you're dealing with a Heat team that has a couple big losses as well, obviously, with Whiteside and Wade. I'm going to come with you guys on the under.
Really?
Under 215.5. Right. I see it as a play that makes sense.
Under 215.5, the Molecular Ninja. Boy, he is a ninja. He was like, I bet you I can implant this pick into their spreadsheets. And he did. He's a fucking ninja. He was like, what? And then there we go. Bam, we're both on the under, Jim, right?
Yeah.
215.5. And he was like, I bet you I'm going to be able to do this and make them get a shitty number, too. And he did. And he's going to be just laughing at us tonight when it loses. And he's like, look what I did. I'm a fucking ninja at this shit. Was that what's going on here, Jim?
I do. I think that's what's going on. Yeah.
All right, fuck it. Just one unit. Jim, you have units to burn in NBA, and I have up. And here you go. Jansen Bonzone says Denver +2 is the better bet. You disagree, Jim?
I do. I don't trust the way they play without Gary Harris. Simple as that. He's their leading scorer, and maybe he's their most important player. I mean, it's very arguable.
Baby Bet says Denver all day.
Yeah, yes, the Heat have not looked good. They don't look good without Whiteside. But I don't trust this Nuggets team. It doesn't matter. You can call a team out, and they can play a little better, but you lose your best perimeter defender and best scorer. I mean, Jamal Murray is a great scorer as well. But no, I think I'm comfortable with this spot. I'm comfortable taking the under here, but I get you guys.
Okay, Jimmy the Bag. Let's see, what else do we have here in the NBA tonight? Well, obviously, everyone I'm sure is wondering about the Cavs game, and you did make a play on the over, and I took the first half over, and that line has gotten bet up, and I did see already in chat a few people liking that one. I think you got it at 224.
I did.
It's now up to 225.5 or 226, and I took the first half over at 114, and that is now up to 116. So, that could be just big public money. I mean, you take one glance at this game, you got to be thinking over immediately, right?
The Bucks are a bad basketball team. Now, there's talk about Kevin Love coming back. I'm not sure what kind of imprint he will have on this game, but I'm sure he's coming back knowing that without Nance, without Thompson, we need somebody to fill it. Let's see. King Rail says Cavs are 0-5 after a road trip involving 7 or more days on the road and are 4-27 against the spread against losing teams coming back from a road trip. Baby Bets, Milwaukee over. Frost Fitness. That's a new name. Says Cavs over locker box. Very, very interesting. And Tyronn Lue won't be there, as we know, and that should be fine. LeBron calling the plays, basically. It's no different than his. Melee Payless Way. Cavs first quarter over, full game over. Ooh,
nice.
It's hitting it hard.
Okay. All right. So that's the deal with that game.
Oh, Native Queen is joining.
Oh shit! What does Native Queen want here?
Native Queen, Cavs first quarter over and first half over.
Oh, there you go. I got 114 Native Queen. As we know, even if you have positive EV plays, it's always important to get the best number. I got 114. I'm sure Native Queen's going to be thinking to herself, "Wow, nice job, Pete. Nice job." All right, and I might throw on the first quarter over as well. Why not? Let me see what else. What other plays did Jim give? He gave Sacramento controversial play +3.5. I didn't even check to see where that line is. All right, it's still where it was in the morning at 3.5. So no movement there. And
I'm very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I'm extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Can I read you what our man Dan Kelly said?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Sacramento is in a real bad spot tonight. Playing their 6th game in 9 nights, 3rd and 4, first back home after 4 or 5 on the road. Their last was a loss in a huge effort versus a conference opponent. Detroit is in a good spot. 3rd game in 6 nights, 4th game of a 6-game trip. In similar situations the past 3 seasons, the home team is 3-6 against the spread, adjust the full game against the spread by taking out results of absolute value. Long ago, I noticed that when a line is inexplicable after quantitative handicapping, the reason is usually situational. 30 years ago, the line makers did very little situational analysis. I could get a big advantage. But now they have surpassed any situational analysis that I am capable of. Leche.
Wow, that is one hell of a breakdown there, Dan. Because there's no situation. Okay, I still think there are situations that are too specific for the market to be in the business of trying to account for. But that might be totally wrong. That's a great write up by Al Mack. Wow, that was Al Mack.
No, that was Dan Kelly.
Dan Kelly. Wow. Man.
Can you believe how can I possibly not be successful gambling when I get these messages from these incredible cappers? I mean, I'm just. God damn.
So he's saying that it's a pass, or that he likes this one, or that he likes Detroit.
Well, that's the next I wanted to know. I was like, well, what? And he said, let me get back to it. Shit. That was where I was right after. I was like, God damn. What the hell did I just do with this?
And here you go. Scotty Rockford Eva says, despite all that, Dan Kelly, Detroit sucks enough for Sacramento to win. And yes.
And that's what the guys were saying. That's what Jeremy M was saying. That's what CRC was saying. Dan says, I'm not telling you to switch your pick.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I will be looking for a bet on Detroit at halftime.
I mean, the initial gambling dichotomy of look for teams that suck, look for teams that are awesome, bet on teams that are awesome, bet against teams that suck is still in play in the world of sports betting in 2018, right, Jim?
It certainly is.
Yes,
it certainly is. And then I find this stuff just unbelievably interesting. And I love all these people capping together. And
yes.
Okay, so I sent a message to the guys. There's a big group chat. Mm-hmm. They're doing great. Jeremy M, Brooksy, Searcy, Kobe, Remy CV, Jeremy Patterson. They're all doing this together. And I love the group. So I said, listen, I'm uncomfortable. I just sent them a little bit of what Dan said. And Searcy said, I took the Kings because I'm not sure who or what Detroit is right now on the road. Mm-hmm. They have lost 2 and gotten blown out while on the road. I like the way Sacramento is playing right now. They have been covering and sometimes winning. Jeremy M says, where are the reasons why he's on the, let me go back. I've got to go. Okay, I'm going to need to go back.
See, Jim's now reading his group chat that he's got going on where they feed each other information and advice all day long. That is unbelievable there.
Pistons are 20, and this is from Jeremy M. He said Pistons are 20 and 46 against the spread in the last 66 road games versus a team with a losing record. Mm-hmm. They're 1-4 last Monday games. I don't care about those types of stats. 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 against the Western Conference. I could list all the trends. Long story short, they don't cover against the spread worth a shit. Mm-hmm. Kings, on the other hand, have and do. Mm-hmm. We don't even need to dig that deep, though. Pistons are a bad squad. And the Kings are playing with heart and will compete, especially at home. Give me the home dog with heart, and we'll drive losing or not every time, put it in the books.
Okay, and here we have some comments here. McGogster says, first half Sacramento, second half Pistons, and Native Queen, Sacramento first quarter. So maybe we want to think about Sacramento early, Jim, and then if Sacramento's up, take Detroit on the second half. What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
I absolutely think that is the play. For everybody at home, I absolutely think that is the play. From everything that we've learned,
yes.
Sacramento, if they get off to a nice start, take Detroit in the second half. Now, I agree. The Pistons 1, 2, and 3 is trash. Mm-hmm. And what's trash? And then you have Griffin writing sketch comedy on the perimeter. It's garbage. It's going to create losses. But Drummond is a force. Now, the Kings have forces too. Z-Bo is zero jokes. We know he can bang with big boys. We've seen him do it for the last 10 years. They got Labissiere. They've got options with their bigs. Willie Cauley-Stein can do a lot of damage.
Griffin's like, what's the deal with 3-pointers? What's the deal with 3-pointers?
I swear to God, if you go to Montreal this summer Just for Laughs Festival, I'm not joking, Blake Griffin will be there.
Who are the geniuses who invented the 3-point shot, people? All right, Jimmy the Bag. I'm thinking of taking Sacramento first quarter and first half. What do you think?
That gives me a lot more confidence because 6 games in 9 nights, 5 different cities. Mm-hmm. That is really tough. We know that Bogdan Bogdanovic is now out of the lineup.
Yes.
And that isn't too, obviously I'd like him in the lineup, but if that just means De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield each play 35, 37 minutes, then I'm okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead.
We got a nice comment from Normal Nation. Shout out to the Loshak and The Bag boys and all SBR talent. I started keeping track of all my plays on Twitter 3 weeks ago. I'm currently 65%, 34, and 17 overall, and it's large part due to the SBR boys. So,
thank you very much. Very well done. Very well read as usual. Wanma. Okay, very, very nice. Very, very nice. All right, Jimmy the Bag. So let's make a decision here. You're going to just go with Sacramento for a full game, right, Jim?
I am. Mm-hmm. I am in. But I might take a shot at halftime. Mm-hmm.
With Detroit and hedging out,
yes. With Detroit, but the problem is that's a late game, and I got to wake up at fucking dawn to get all these fucking. How bad's our schedule tomorrow? I'm guessing it's bad just because there's so few games in the NHL tonight.
It'll be all right. I'm going to take Sacramento first quarter +1 -106. They do tend to start strong. I think that if they do have issues in this game, it will come late, just like we saw on their last game on a back-to-back. Buddy Hield might get tired again. I'm taking Sacramento first quarter +1 106. That is a tale of Native Queen, but it also falls in line with everything everyone else has been saying as well. I'm taking it Sacramento first quarter +1 -106, Jim.
Native Queen says Detroit should not be favored nowhere on the earth.
Okay. All right. Let's move on, Jim. How about that?
Well, King Rail saying, I guess I don't get no NBA love, and I'm smashing this shit right now. What do you mean, King Rail?
Where's the picks? Where's the picks?
King Rail, we talked you up all day, man. We love you, King Rail.
King Rail says, Pistons, great bet. Dan on Pistons and Nuggets tonight. Wow. Pistons and Nuggets. Wow. Okay. First strong opinion we've heard on the Pistons.
And no, Jansen said Pistons.
Oh, really?
Pistons.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. See, we're not giving Jansen Bonzone any love either, King Rail. Damn.
I love both these guys.
I guess we're just seeing what we want to see, Jim. That's what it is. You know.
I am extremely concerned.
Yes.
I'm extremely concerned. I think that a mistake that I made was I saw the line, and even though I was capping the game this morning, I was like, come on. Detroit shouldn't be favored anywhere.
And check this out. New commenter, Molecular Ninja, who's just being introduced to Awanma right now, says, this guy behind the scenes should do cartoon voiceovers. I agree with you. Totally agree with you, Molecular Ninja. Okay, let's move on. That was wow. That was a very interesting breakdown. A lot of great stuff on this Pistons game. All right, we'll see how it turns out. Once again, Jimmy the Bag on Sacramento, Jansen Bonzone and King Rail on Detroit, and I am going to go with Native Queen and take first quarter Sacramento. I think that they have issues maybe with stamina, but that they'll come out probably more likely than not strong here, and that's that. So let's move on. Jim also took Spurs in the morning at -7. It's now up to 7.5 or 8. So money coming in on San Antonio, and that total, which I bet at 206, has now crashed even further down to 201 or 201.5, Jim.
Yeah. Damn.
And I put Golden State plus 7.5 in my leans category, and I put the under 203.5 in my leans column as well. I also have a Sacramento plus 3.5 in my leans category, the Detroit Sacramento under 205, and Memphis Brooklyn over 210 in my leans category as well.
Wow, a lot of interesting stuff. Richard West saying Pistons only getting 40% of the tickets, but line is moving in their favor. Baby Bet saying baby bets on Detroit as well. And JK saying they're favored for a reason. Yes. Books aren't making a mistake. To the Spurs game, Melee Payless Way says it better than I could have. Says Spurs smash. Scotty Rock forever, man. We know he goes to these games. Right? We know he's a big fan of his hometown Dubs. But I think they're going to get hurt.
King Rail says, I know I'm just sensitive. No, King Rail, I am Mr. Sensitive. I'm affected by everything. I totally understand you, King Rail. No problem at all, King Rail. If you want respect, you get it. Let us know. We will shout you out. Anyone who feels ignored, we will absolutely shout you out. Nice. All right. So, and Jansen Bonzone says no one is playing on Golden State. How many people are out?
Everybody. Well, no. The three of them are the three of the guys who are questionable are playing. Where do I have it? I have it right here. I got it right here. Sorry, Golden State. They're all Quinn Cook, who had the right hand injury. We knew he was going to play. Andre Iguodala with the shoulder is good. Kevin Looney with the jaw contusion, good. Zaza Pachulia, shoulder, good. Oh, so you got Looney and Pachulia. You guys should be fine.
All right, yeah. We'll see how it goes. I took a shot with the under. I did bet it at 206. A lot of times, as I've said, these totals that move due to roster announcements and personnel changes are often totally wrong. But I'll stick with my bet at 206. I don't have any official picks on this game, and I'm not going to give one. And I hope Jim cashes with the -7 on San Antonio.
I really think they smash. I think it's a double-digit victory.
Okay, let's move on to other games. I was thinking maybe a shot with the over in Memphis, Brooklyn. Then we also got Charlotte, Philly, which is also an interesting one. Charlotte's just been games going into the stratosphere, game in and game out. And then we got Chicago, New York, which is an interesting one. A lot of injuries on Chicago as well. What do you have to say about any of those games? You have no bets on any of those games as of right now, Jim.
I find them tough games. Tough games. I don't know which. If there was one that I would kind of lean towards, I would lean towards the Lakers. I feel like Scotty Rock saying, you better answer my tweet tonight when we win.
Oh, shit.
Scotty, I'd be happy to.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be happy to answer your tweet. But I do wake up at dawn.
Why? Who is Scotty Rock? He's on what? He's on Detroit?
No, he's on the Dubs, man. He's on the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right, Native Queen coming in saying...
There you go. Yep.
Philadelphia first quarter, as she's done and been very successful with all year. First half under, full game under.
Yeah, I mean, Philly has just been, for like 2 years now, great bet in general early in games. Here they are against Charlotte once again, laying a pretty big number here in the first quarter, but maybe not too big. It is -3. Bookmaker has 2.5 at -121. That's interesting there. I don't have a good enough read on either of these teams right now, and I'm just going to pass. I didn't bet that game at all, and I'm gonna pass on it. Obviously, at first glance, you'd think over, but I'm not going to bet that one or even put it in my leans column or anything. What do you think about that game, Jim? Is anything tempting to you?
Well, the line movement to me says that the under is the play, and then you see Native Queen. Yeah. And if you have the market telling you the same thing that Native Queen's telling you, then yeah, it seems like that would be the play.
And actually, I have my note here, under here maybe, question mark. Yeah, they did play recently at Charlotte. It was a very high-scoring game.
Yeah, 128, 114.
Yeah, maybe under, Jim. What do you think?
I'll tell you what. The Sixers and the Cavaliers have decimated me this year. I joined on with you guys on some first halves and first quarters. Some, not enough. I've just not had a good enough read on this team. I expected that they would be better than they've been, and it's been tough, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Memphis, Brooklyn, I was thinking about an over. Obviously, Brooklyn has had some very high-scoring games, and so has Memphis, recently, no matter who's in the lineup. So I was thinking about a shot with the overs in those games. Notably, the first half over on that one is a lot higher than 50% of the full game over. Do you have anything to say about that one, Jim?
Sorry, I was just answering. They're asking me what my favorite play of the NHL card. It's a really, really, really tough one. Yes, Grizzlies Nets. We're talking, right?
Yes. Over.
This is another Grizzlies team that, yes, they're much better with Tyreek Evans in the line. No doubt about it. He helps the team a great deal. Dylan Brooks, Canadian kid, stepping up, playing well. I think he's going to be a good NBA player. Other than that, Gasol is not in the lineup, I believe. That's been confirmed, I believe. You can't win a game with a couple quality smalls. You need help from the bigs, and their bigs are G League equivalents. So I think the Nets should beat them up tonight. And when the Grizzlies get beaten up, their offense doesn't really go up. They lose by 20 points and put up 85 or 90. They get depressed. The Nets are going to shoot 45 threes. We know what they do.
Meantime, that Denver-Miami total is crashing down to 214.5 -113 at Pinnacle as we speak. Jimmy the Bag.
Jesus.
Nice.
Well, it's nice. Yes, but I haven't sent in the bet.
Oh, really?
No, I just made an official pick.
I sent mine in. I got a 216, Jim.
Well, great.
Okay, go ahead.
Great.
Go ahead, dude. Send it right now if you want. Heritage still has 215. Heritage has 215. Go ahead, Jim. Okay. Send in your bet. I'll take care of the show while you're going in and sending in your bet. Okay, yeah, looking over. Okay, you know what we'll do? We'll go back to college basketball, and I will look at some college basketball line moves and maybe convert some of my leans here to official picks. Let's see what has moved. Since we first started talking? Not much, although some money coming back in on Western Kentucky. It's now headed back the other way. It was money was coming in clearly on USC. Now it's down to 4.5, and Pinnacle is at 5 -115. So that's nice to see. Money coming in on Western Kentucky. I certainly agree with that one. Let me look at some of these totals that have if they've moved at all. No, not really. Not much movement. All right, so let me maybe throw on some of my leans here. I think probably Western Kentucky first half is a decent play, and I will throw that one on there. I'll convert that from a lean to an official pick as well. Western Kentucky first half. I'm going to convert that to an official pick. Let me just find the line here. Western Kentucky plus 2.5 -110. That's the current line at Intertops and a few other places. First half plus 2.5, minus 110. I'll throw that one on there. Western Kentucky first half. I'll convert that from a lean to an official pick. Yeah, the Stanford-Oklahoma State game, I do think it's going to be more modest scoring, but I'll hold off on that one because it could be an explosive first half. I'll just take the full game under on that one. And Stanford first half, I'm not exactly sure why Oklahoma State is taking so much money, and the line does appear to be headed up. It doesn't appear that there's anything coming back on Stanford significantly, so that makes me nervous. The Mercer North Texas first half over 66.5, minus 115 was an official play, and that is still available. Oh, actually, minus 108 at BetOnline. That's interesting there. Did you send it in, Jim? Oh, Jim's sending it in right now.
Under 214.5 is what
okay, hopefully it won't matter, but as you know, long term, those half points and points absolutely do matter, and they will come back to bite you, once in a while, here and there, and overall definitely have an impact on your ROI long term. All right, let me see. You know what? I guess I'll just stick with the Western Kentucky first half as the only lean that I'm going to convert. I'll leave the first half totals on all those alone. North Texas first half over 66.5. Western Kentucky first half under 71. St. Mary's first half under 68. And Oklahoma State first half under 73. Yeah, I'll leave them all alone. And the New Orleans team total over 70. I'll leave that one alone as well, though I really kind of like that New Orleans team total over. All right, Jimmy the Bag, you sending it in, Jim?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, you done? Let's get back to NBA before we wrap this shit up. Jimmy the Bag, Memphis, Brooklyn appears like more money's coming in on Brooklyn. They're now up to -7 and juiced.
-7 and juiced.
Yeah,
it makes perfect sense to me. It makes I'm with you, Molecular Ninja. Let's get this fucking money. Kevin K saying Rick Nash no-go for the Bruins. This Bruins team is decimated with injuries, man. I mean, yeah, Buffalo's dealing with a few things too, but just seeing Jack Eichel in the dressing room. Oh, sorry, Bruins are playing the Blue Jackets. Sorry, a little mixed up there.
And you know what? I will throw on the Oklahoma State first half under. You know what? I like that one enough that I'm going to take it. First half under 73 minus 120. That was in my leans category. I'm going to make that an official pick right now. I think it's going to be a modest scoring game. I'm going to take that. First half under 73 minus 120, Oklahoma State. Sorry. Go on, Jim.
No problem. I understand completely why the money will come in on the Nets. I think they win, and I think they win comfortably. I think that is a good play. Now, do you want to put your money on this Brooklyn Nets team to cover 7 points? I mean, that's what it comes down to. Do you want to take this team that's going to come out and take 45 shots from three-point land? A team where Dinwiddie is struggling, Crabbe is sick. Yeah, I like Damari Carroll at the 3, but I don't know if I want to trust my money.
What about the Nets team total over 109, Jim?
Yeah, I like that play. I like that play, but the Grizzlies aren't going to want to get in the shooting contest with the Nets.
Right.
They're going to slow the pace down, aren't they? I mean, they're not going to go shot for shot. So the Nets are a tough team. When the Nets are an 8-point dog or 9-point dog, I enjoy taking them. I enjoy seeing if they can get hot. If they can get hot late. But as a big favorite, it's tough to put your money down on them. I don't know if I want to.
Isan Zolfagari says, if you want to take the Nets, take them first half. Al Mack says Brooklyn is the play. And Kevin Calixto says Memphis, Brooklyn over, which is what I was thinking about as well. Oh, wow. And Tuare Latte likes the Campbell game under. 147, best bet. Okay, very interesting. Yeah, I bet the over. It moved in my direction, but I'm not going to give that one as an official play. It's definitely a borderline play for me, for sure. All right, let's see. What else? Is that it? Oh, wow. Al Mack says, I really like Brooklyn money line. Okay.
Well, I have to say, after all of this talk across all the sports, that there's no doubt that Western Kentucky should be trying.
Yes.
Whereas we have doubt whether USC will be trying.
Yeah. And, I mean, halfway through the second quarter, halfway through the second half or whatever, those guys are going to start taking it easy, as they should. You know what I'm saying? You imagine if one of those motherfucking guys gets injured in this game and doesn't get drafted? I mean, that's suicide time, Jim.
Yeah, and we know that none of the Hilltoppers are getting drafted.
Right. They're gonna and they're just a nice little team. You know what I'm saying? They play tough. They got some heart. They would love to go into USC and get a nice little road win in the NIT and maybe even make it to the Garden, right, Jim? I'm on them double. I took them a first half, Jim.
Okay. I will come on and take him full game.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right, let's line shop, see what we can get you. Best line for Western Kentucky. Hopefully the line hasn't moved since we last mentioned it. Let's see, +5 minus 115 we can give you. Jim's going to take Western Kentucky +5, -115. That is the line at sportsbetting.ag. Pinnacle, a few other places. Most places now down to 4.5, though. All right.
Baby bet saying the Nets will win and cover tonight. The Nets will cover.
And Native Queen liking the Nets on the first quarter.
Yeah, I like that early. God damn. I agree. I mean, but Isan Sofogari is right. I think if you want to take him, you take him early.
Okay, well, I think we covered the entire slate of games here. Picks that we have added, Jimmy and I have added, in addition to our morning picks. Jim added Buffalo, under 6, -105. Miami in the NBA, under 215.5. And Western Kentucky, +5, -115. And I added, in addition to my plays in the morning show, Oklahoma State, first half, under 73. Western Kentucky, first half, +2.5, -110. In the NBA, I went with Jim, Miami, under 215.5. And I took Sacramento, first quarter, +1, -106, and I think that just about wraps it up, right, Jim?
I think it just about wraps it up. I think it's pretty exciting. We've gone on board with Molecular Ninja.
Wow, G-Man Hags comes in with a specific score on the Florida Habs game, 6-4 Florida. He likes a high-scoring game, way over.
It's tough with the Habs are allowing so many shots on goal. They're an easy team to play against. They need to be scoring on the power play to stay in games.
Wow. I might be on the wrong side there on the under then, Jim.
You may be.
I may be.
And I was, when you said it, there wasn't a bet that I was comfortable jumping on.
All right. Well, we'll see how. Well, let's wrap it up with Tony Soprano, an official Tony Soprano signed comment. Tony Soprano says, "Hey guys, have a great night. And Bag, thanks for the Buffalo pick. We will win, baby." Signed, Tony Soprano. Thanks so much, Tony Soprano. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 o'clock Eastern Time.